Hello guys. So what we are trying to do here is how we can assemble the chassis for a three-wheel robot car. Mostly we use this for ROC robot cars and all that. So basically what we have here is just the requirements. These are the three-wheel we are talking about. These are the gear motors, TT gear motor. So soldering lead driver for this TTL motors, and these are jumper wires. So basically, these are the jumper wires for the TTL motor, which will be soldered on in a brief minute. So what we're doing here is how we can get this assembled, because it doesn't come assembled. It comes like this in parts. So this is the chassis for a three wheel. We have the four wheel, or this is the basics. This is just an intro for me as well. I'm just trying to go into this ROC robot cars and all that. So I'm trying it out with this one. We're going to be doing the four wheel as well. I have that. We might do a 3D print of the four wheel, or we might just use the one that comes from the factory like this. So this is what the setup look like basically. So without really wasting much time, let's just go into the setup. So let's start that right away. So right now, what we'll do is just do the soldering of these two TTL motors. These are geared motors. These are not just ordinary motors. These are geared motors, which allows us to do a proper control of this ROC robot car. So positive has been connected to the gear motor, and the negative is being connected. Mind you, there are tiny holes at the terminals of this gear motor. What I'm just doing here is just pass the cable through the holes, twist it. Then after that, we're going to apply solder to all two terminals from both motors. This is soldering lead. So right now we'll apply the lead to it to make it firm. So you need soldering iron for this. If you're just going to do this, most of these motors come with the cables already soldered, but in this case, the cables came apart. So I have to do that soldering process. That is why we are doing this process right now. But if yours is coming soldered, well and good, it saves you the stress of having to solder. So I'm soldering this negative terminal right now. So that is done. So moving to the positive terminal of the gear motor, that has already been soldered as well. So take the next one, solder the negative as well. Negative has been soldered. So this is the positive soldered as well. So we now have the cables fixed to our TTL motor. So this process is fully and finally completed. Now we have to move into the proper assembly. So this is the chassis, like I said earlier on. These are the connectors and all that. So just going to do the assembling. So I just want you to watch what I'm doing right now. I don't need to really talk much in this process. You just watch what is being done, then carry out yours as well. So these are the screws you need to add. Pass the screw through the lock, then you do it for the top side as well. Then you just need to apply the blocks. So right now, the bolts are being put in place, and you have to screw this for the bolt to be fully held together with these screws, thereby holding this TTL motor to the chassis properly. So that is exactly what is being done right now. So the next one is being fixed into place. This process can be overwhelming, but it's just slow and steady. You get it done. Like I said, it's just theory, two motors, and a third wheel. So I'll just save myself much talking and go into the proper fixing of this. Make sure you watch the holes they are coming through. So this is the second TTL motor being fixed in place. So the bolts have been screwed into place. In order for this to be fixed in place, the bolt has to be firmly tightened. So that's exactly what I'm doing. Once this process is done, we'll move to mounting the wheels. So right now, both wheels are already fixed in place. So I know you might be confused about what is happening, but the process we did earlier was wrong. The motors were placed wrongly. It was when it has been fixed, I noticed, like I said before, you're just going into this like I am. So we'll get this right when we'll be doing the next one. But practice make perfect. This is a DIY for a process for a reason. So we're trying to get it done by ourselves. So the motor is being turned. Once both are turned, we proceed to the next phase. So basically, since both has been corrected, what we're about mounting is the third wheel chassis. Like I told you, this is a three-wheel drive. So third wheel will be mounted on the chassis. And in the process, there are standoff used in this process, though they are short, but the standoff help to raise the chassis from the tire itself. So if you noticed, those are the chassis, the standoff that I'm trying to adjust here. So I think I moved a bit from position, but I didn't even know on time. But this is the standoff. This metallic stuff that I'm holding in my hands, that's what I'm trying to screw into it here. That's the standoff. So you screw yours or fall to the tires, then it is the standoff you're going to screw to the chassis directly, not the tire itself. So please make sure you get that right. So these are the tires being mounted. As you can see, the chassis has taken place. So the tire does not move freely because, like I told you, these are geared motors. So it needs to be stepped for it to move. Though if you apply pressure, you can get it done. So what I'm going to be doing is to use a double side tape. These are the foam type to apply the drivers to the board. So let's just get that done. I can only my hands on my scissors, so I'm using a cutter blade in order to get this done. But scissors is the right one to use for this. So to avoid issues, you just peel off this other side, then apply on the chassis itself. So this is meant to stay in front, just on top of the front wheel. So as you can see, this double side tape holds things firmly. So that is firmly holding to place. But you can also use standoff to mount it to this. There are holes for it though. You can mount it directly onto this chassis using standoff short ones. But I prefer to just leave it directly on top of it, as you can see right now. So this is just us successfully mounting everything in place on this chassis. So the process is complete. What we need to do next in our next video is just to create